Good morning, guys. It's a rainy day here in Glen Rock, and so I figured I'd do a little maintenance and upgrades on my bike. I just got done putting the new Ergon saddle on, which is going to be glorious on my hind end. And I also, let's see, got a little sick of smashing my front sprocket on rocks and logs, so I got this $24 off Amazon Cogster Bashguard, which uses the ICSG 05 bracket here and basically bolts in like that. You can see it protects your sprocket from getting bashed. You can kind of, has a little slide here so you can slide it any direction you want to whatever your preference is. So the problem I'm having is I cannot, no matter where I put the sprocket, I cannot find a hole that will let me get a good angle. As you can see, it won't go straight in. So basically the crank has to come off because the sprocket's integrated onto the crank. So there's an easy way to do this. I'll go over the installation of both. First, you're gonna need an 8mm Allen, 5/32 Allen, some medium thread lock. Let's walk over here. So if you look, there's an outer hex and it says do not remove, and that's totally accurate. You don't want to remove that. All you need to do is put your 8mm hex in here, crank it counterclockwise, and it actually puts tension. It'll pull itself out up against this outer lip here and self-extract this bracket. So as you crank it, you'll feel the bracket pulling itself out. Oh, there you go, dropping stuff. Butterfingers. But as you can see, the separation down here, it's pulling itself out. You spin it the rest of the way, it works itself off, and then we'll pick up on the other side. All right, so obviously loosen your chain. And then all you got to do, you either tap the side of the dead blower mallet or just pull it through. And it's, you know, I don't clean my bike as much as I probably should, so I'm going to clean this all up before I put it back in. Anyway, adjust my angle if I can. Shake up your medium thread lock. Get a little bit on your mountain hardware. And screw that bad boy in. My goats are knocking the camera around, so I apologize. And one thing I did, because there's a bunch of dirt and stuff in the mounting holes, I actually ran the bolts in the opposite way to clean the holes out before I put them in the regular way. So get it started by hand, just to make sure it's in the right way and you're not cross threading. Go ahead, tighten these guys up. Now, let this truck go by. All right. Now the thing that was preventing my these bolts from going in with the sprocket on was the lips of the bolts just couldn't go past. They're like a millimeter off. They couldn't go past the hole in the sprocket. I'm gonna get it almost all the way tight and then put everything back together and then make my final adjustments, because then the lip will be past the edge of the sprocket. All right, I'm gonna clean everything off, put everything back together, and then we'll pick up. All right, so I pulled everything apart. I used brake cleaner. I'm sure I'm going to get yelled at for that by someone on here. Anyway, degreased it. There was factory grease pretty heavy in here. This thin ring that's severely warped, was warped when I pulled the crank off. I don't know if that was from hard use or the extraction process. I'm going to tap it flat on the anvil before I put it back on. And then this outer ring goes on top of that. So I'm going to grease everything up, put it all back together, and show you the final product. In case anybody was wondering, I used the Park Tool grease to put everything back together. Dab a medium thread locker on the crank threads. This is the finished product. Everything's tightened up and working the way I want it to. I adjusted the Bashguard all the way forward because I like to smash into things with reckless abandon, plus I'm fat. So I'm happy with the finished product. Anyway, also, it goes without saying, make sure your crank is in line because you don't want to have to do the job all over again. Everything's good. This may have actually inspired me to clean and lubricate everything else on my bicycle for once, but probably not. I was going to clean the garage today, but I'm going to go do some fishing because priorities, and that's why I live a happy life. Cheers.